Hey everybody, it's Dissident from Dissident Gaming. Welcome to my How to Play Tyra guide. Tyra has been my main for the longest time, ever since I started playing Paladins, and she's a super simple champion to use. She has tons of high damage potential, but the only thing is that she has a lack of mobility. She can't really get away from her opponents too easily, so that's one downfall that she has. But besides having that one downfall, all of the utilities that she has to her kit totally makes up for that lack of mobility. Tyra has a lot of different ways to dominate the match. She has point control, she has zoning power, she's a tank buster, and she's also really good in 1v1 fights, so you really don't want to mess with a Tyra. All of those abilities and utilities that Tyra has really makes her a character to not be messed with. You see a Tyra, please be careful. She's definitely not playing around, and if you're Tyra, you're definitely not one to be played around with. Now that we've talked about Tyra's role and her capabilities, we're going to move on to her skill set. Starting off with her automatic rifle, we have a fast-firing automatic rifle that deals 105 damage every 0.09 seconds. Her automatic rifle is best at close and mid-range fights. Long distance, it's not as effective, but it can be used to finish off very low health opponents. It also has really high headshot damage, so if you're really close to an opponent, aim for that head, you're going to melt through their health within seconds. Her automatic rifle also has 15% lifesteal, which means she gets 15% of the damage dealt to opponents back as health, which is really good. I like to stack the life rip item so I can just get constant heal and sustain and just make it easier to take down my enemies. Next, we have her grenade launcher with a cooldown of 9 seconds. Fire a grenade that explodes on impact, dealing 700 damage. So Tyra's grenades can really be deadly. They're not to be messed with. I use them personally as a finisher when an opponent is at low health. You do not expect that really high burst in damage, and that just ends a majority of my fights. They do have a maximum range of 500 units at which they do that 700 damage, but I've shot across the map and I still do the maximum 700 damage. So this nade launcher can be hit with maximum damage from so far away. This makes Tyra's range much better for the lack of range on her auto rifle. Having this ability in her set definitely amplifies her burst damage potential. Her next ability is her firebomb with a 15-second cooldown. What this ability does, Tyra throws her firebomb and it leaves a pool of fire on the impact, and it deals 9% of the target's health as damage. Firebomb also reduces the amount of healing your opponents receive by 50%, which can totally turn the tide of the battle. Firebomb is an area damage attack, so it will spread and damage multiple targets in the vicinity. Next, we have her Hunter's Mark with a 14-second cooldown. What this ability does is you mark a target and you deal 15% increased damage with your automatic rifle. This is the ability that gives Tyra that amazing 1v1 potential, and you rarely lose those close range fights. That 15% damage really makes a difference, especially when you hit those headshots. Those opponents are going down like nothing. Hunter's Mark can also be used to see your opponents through walls, so it's really helpful to be able to get cover and still see where your opponent is, or if they're running away, you can predict where to attack from next. And lastly, we have her Crossfire ultimate ability. So this ultimate, pretty much you're going crazy. You shoot 40% faster and you move 40% faster while not using any ammo. This is a really situational ability. It leaves you very exposed. It has a loud Q noise that the entire enemy team is going to hear, but if you use it correctly, you can totally use it to your advantage. Just be careful when you use it. It is definitely a high risk, high reward ability, but nonetheless guys, it is a really nice ultimate that can absolutely shred through opponents. Now let's move on to all of Tyra's talents, starting with Burn Monster. Burn Monster increases the damage that her firebomb does by 30%, and it increases the reduced healing effect by 60%. It also cripples the enemies, which means that they have no movement escape abilities. They're not allowed to use it, so that really gets those opponents in the sticky situation. You're just able to finish them off with that increased damage and reduced healing effect. Next, we have Hunting Party. Hunting Party gives Hunter's Mark 2 charges, and it also gives the benefits to the allies of your team, so they're able to also deal that increased damage to the opponents as well. Personally, this is my least used talent because I really see it to be used in certain situations. I feel like if you have a team coordinating and communicating with each other, you guys can easily pick off who you want to choose as a target finish that person off, move to the next one, target him, finish that person off as a team together collectively. But if you're playing by yourself, I don't think Hunting Party is the way to go. And lastly, we have Mercy Kill, which gives Nade Launcher 3 charges. This is probably got to be my favorite one to use as Tyra. It's definitely the most fun I have with her. I'm able to shoot 3 grenades, so in total that's 2,100 damage. That's a lot of health. That can KO a lot of enemy teams just from 3 grenades. In my opinion, Mercy Kill can be used in a lot more situations than both Hunting Party and Burn Monster. Burn Monster is very map oriented when the capture point is not too big that the fire is able to be used as the zoning and the pressure for the points and the characters who are trying to capture the point. On top of all the abilities and talents that Tyra has, you also have loadouts. You can use loadouts to increase your effectiveness as Tyra. Things that I like to use are increased health and increased movement speed. Having those two things increased because Tyra does have that lack of mobility, the more that she can survive, the more damage she can dish out to her opponents. She also has the ability to reduce the cooldown of her abilities with every elimination that she gets. So those cooldowns can really be dropped really low, from like 9 seconds all the way to 2 sometimes I'm seeing. So the more cooldowns that you don't have, the more damage you can output to everyone. I will be making separate videos for specific loadouts on specific characters, so if you would like to see that, please leave a like and comment who you would like to see and what loadouts you would like to see. So there you have it, guys. That is my how to play Tyra guide for Paladins in 2020. I will be creating a more advanced guide in the future, specific loadouts, specific builds for Tyra, so stay tuned for that. This is more a guide for beginners or people who are playing the game and just kind of need a refresher, or returning players. I'm here to help every single one of you. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.